on, babies.
I'm very interested on Frosty's take on this. It's a big Celtics guy that he is.
You're a big Celtics guy, Frost.
Basketball first.
Your basketball, your Celtics, Patriots. Where do you go from there?
Bruins, Red Sox.
Ooh, I thought it was the Revolution, Red Sox, Bruins.
The Revolution are a soccer team in New England.
The Revolution. Hey, it's not a bad game. It's an inexpensive way to get down to Foxborough.
Exactly. See,
There's no inexpensive way to get to Foxborough.
No. You're
not emotionally.
You're going to pay for it one way or another.
Yeah,
but
one way or another, you're going to punch something.
If a game's going to be low scoring, I prefer a little more action. Hockey, there's at least a lot of action. Baseball is like watching paint dry, and plus I don't know. I'm kind of old school. All these sponsorships and these, CGI graphics that are put on the mound to advertise for companies. It's just become a joke. So, but yeah, Celtics are my first love. Basketball is my first love, and I don't. Up until this whole, we're gonna send potentially Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant. I was coming around on Brad Stevens as a GM. If we send Jaylen Brown, and I don't care what the rest of the package looks like, if we send Tatum and we keep Brown, I've heard that theory as well, right? We send Tatum, we keep Jaylen Brown, which is insane. But if we do any of that, then I will have lost all of the faith that I had built up in Brad as a GM, because I think he's done very well. He's impressed me, but I am not going to get some older, overpriced crybaby who, when he doesn't get his way, if Boston doesn't win the title within the next 2 years, 3 years, I don't know how many years he has left on those thin legs. You think he has 4 years left on those legs?
Oh yeah.
But wait, 4 years left to play? How long can he be a dominant top 10 force in the NBA? You think 4 more years?
3.5.
I'll take the under on that. But I think that we would mortgage our future at a chance of trying to win the title when it doesn't make sense to, because we're fairly close. Bringing in Brogdon is a great deal. So I don't see the need to bring in Durant, because again, if this was 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I would love to bring him in. But now, a little bit older, whiny, like he was going back and forth with like fans on social media. The guy, he's like,
he's the original baby back bitch.
Yeah, but you look at his MySpace page.
MySpace? He's got a MySpace?
He had one. He was on one. Oh, the haters, they keep me going. Like, you are such, he's a taller, darker version of Chris Sale, mentally fragile and not physically that strong. Right?
Yeah, no, that all is completely fair.
Keep him in Brooklyn. Keep him in Brooklyn.
So just to back up a little bit. So obviously the latest reports here out of Kevin Durant is he went to London, talked to owner Joe Tsai, right? Not to say or whatever.
Well, fucking put parentheses on how to pronounce it.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Like his pronouns?
Yeah.
His name pronunciation?
Yeah, please.
Good use of parentheses, by the way. That was a good word for you.
Parentheses, yes.
Yeah. Went there, demanded that GM Sean Marks be fired and that coach Steve Nash be fired. Which, when I heard, it seemed weird. It seems everything Kevin Durant has done this offseason has seemed weird. And then you have to think about who his running mate is, and it's Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving is the puppet master that Kevin Durant is being puppeted by.
Pulling the strings.
There you go.
Ever since
Kyrie Irving was mad either that he didn't get a max extension by the Nets after not playing basically 60% of the games that they asked him to play after paying $30 million a year. Or he's mad that they didn't support him as much as he wanted through the vaccine thing or whatever. He's now come out and said that he doesn't like Sean Marks, who did everything that those two little fucking delinquent cunts asked him to do.
Mm-hmm.
Trade their entire roster for James Harden, their entire really good roster for James Harden. If they just kept those guys, they would have beat the Celtics, by the way. So trade all those guys, bring James Harden in. That didn't work. Dumpster fire waiting to happen. Ray, we called it. You go on. He said he didn't need a coach. Steve Nash comes in. Kyrie Irving reportedly was holding different practices after practices from Steve Nash. So now it all makes sense. Kevin Durant is being puppeted by the self-righteous YouTube fucking cunt that is Kyrie Irving. That alone tells me that I don't want anything to do with Kevin Durant. Nothing. You can't put a trade in front of me from the Celtics that brings Kevin Durant here that I want him. Nothing. So it was reported by our friend, not reported, but it was floated by our friend Jack Simone, CLNS Media, heavy Celtics.com is where this is, that the Celtics now could possibly get Durant for Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, Grant Williams, and some picks. Basically a shitty first round pick and some swaps.
Done.
On the surface, if you can get Kevin Durant for not Jaylen Brown, yeah, wow, that sounds great. I'm out. I'm fucking out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out on Kevin Durant. I don't want him. If you want to swap Marcus Smart just for Kevin Durant, fine. He can come off the bench. He can come off the bench for my Celtics team. Other than that, I'm out on Kevin Durant and his fucking lunacy. If you haven't watched this, if you haven't watched the David Letterman interview with him, and a David Letterman interview is next up or whatever his thing is, I think it's on Netflix or whatever, watch that interview. Watch how much of a just disconnected fucking cat this guy is. He's just like, I smoke weed, I play video games, and I don't give a fuck what people, and I bitch with people on Twitter.
Sound like Bill.
Is that the guy you want, like, steadying your franchise? You want to trade Jaylen Brown for that guy? You fucking kidding me? I get his talent. I'm over it.
What if he doesn't want to be the star? What if he says Tatum can still be the star?
He is the star, right? No matter where he goes, no matter what he does right now, Kevin Durant comes to Celtics, it's Kevin Durant's team. And if they don't win a championship, it's Kevin Durant's fault.
Yeah, but the problem
if they do win a championship, it's Kevin Durant's. It's because Kevin Durant, not Jason Tatum. It's because of Kevin Durant. That's the weight.
Let's say the Celtics for some reason, can't bring Horford back because they have Durant come over. Which player between Durant and Tatum, who's the leader of that crew? Marcus Smart? Is he going to step up and still be the vocal leader of the Celtics? Mm-mm. Durant's no leader. Durant is not a leader.
You already went through this. Dan, you already went through it. You went through years of this with Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, whoever else you want. 2021 was the year it established the hierarchy within the Celtics organization.
I have a question.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. Established. And they got it for the most part. Smart kind of stepped out of his fucking lane there towards the end. Yeah. Which I'd be okay trading him for pretty much anything.
Cost us.
Whose team was it when Paul Pierce and the big three were there? And Kevin Durant.
Kevin Garnett. And Pierce knew it, but they gave him the captain. They gave him the captain so he would feel okay, and he fucking knew it. He was 12 years into the league. He knew what the deal was. He got it. He was 30-something years old. These kids are 24 and 25 years old. You're going to fuck with their heads again and bring this guy in? No. This fucking walking bowl of Frosted Flakes? No fucking chance. Give me Brogdon. Give me Gallinari. Give me Tatum. Give me Brown. They are odds-on favorite to win the championship right now with the team they have constructed. Fuck Kevin Durant. I'm out on him and his Kyrie Irving fucking voodoo ways. Sorry, I know I've said a lot of this. Frosty, your point.
No, I agree with you on a lot of it, but yeah, I think though, to Ray's earlier point, if the Celtics did find a package, I mean, I love Time Lord, but he's an injury waiting to happen. I don't know if the guy's a long-term solution, but he's electric. The dude is absolutely electric, and I would love to probably put a little bit of money on him as Defensive Player of the Year next year, just for the fun of it. But yeah, the Celtics don't need Durant to get over the hump. And yes, they need some scoring, but as Brogdon's gonna help them in certain ways so that, and Gallinari is going to be underrated, a guy that usually kills the Celtics. He might turn into what like Wes Welker was for the Patriots. Killed us as a Dolphin, then we sign him, and now the guy just can, be the Wes Welker going into that year, fantasy football draft wise. People were taking Stallworth, I think, over Welker. They didn't know what to expect of him, this little white receiver. I think Gallinari is going to become a huge role player and is going to be scoring probably 12, 14 points a game.
Best shooter on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They filled Brad Stevens went out in every gap that you could name that they had in why they didn't win the championship. He filled it.
Yeah.
And then some.
Literally, he proved himself prior to this whole Durant debacle and even getting involved in the trade rumors. They shouldn't even have been involved in them, knowing that these guys are younger and you don't want to mess with their heads. Ine finally got them bought in. We didn't need that. And Brad has done everything he was supposed to as a GM. He's not the draft evaluator, talent evaluator that Danny Ainge was. I think
we still have to wait and see with that. Dan, he hasn't made any. So we'll wait and see. And the only
Pritchard, guys,
was Pritchard Ainge or Stevens?
Ainge.
I think it was Ainge. I don't think Brad Stevens has made a draft pick in the first round. He's traded the first. Yeah, he hasn't made one.
Those aren't worth anything.
The only draft pick he made was that guy with the fucking hair in the second round.
You know what? That's going to be a good pick though, and that's why we can get rid of Pritchard.
The only point I'll make on this is if they have if the Celtics have rumblings that Jaylen Brown is looking to test free agency and not sign, then maybe that's that, or more specifically, he just wants out of Boston. If they have that feeling, then I will change my opinion because you have to make the most of an asset.
Well, then I would call our old friend Danny in Utah and talk about getting Donovan Mitchell for Jaylen Brown.
I love that move as well, Dan. I've put that on the show before. The other thing to keep in mind, and we'll move on to simplest spines of the week, is Jaylen Brown is due for a supermax if he can get on the all defensive team or all NBA 1, 2, or 3 teams, and he can only really get that with the Celtics. So he has motivation to stay with his team money wise. I think he's yet to come out and say he doesn't want to be with his team. I don't move Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was the best player on the floor for the Celtics in the NBA Finals. I've been on the Jaylen Brown train for years. The dude is a fucking stud. You don't move on from that. Pay that man his money.